I failed twice before finally passing my Japanese driver's license. So I made this video hoping to help you pass the driving test the first time. Getting a Japanese driver's license is very hard, so make sure to watch until the end of this video as I will give you more tips to remember what to do during your practical test. If you're new here, I am Julie. I make videos about life in Japan, whether it's work, travel, or the expat life in general. If you are curious about living abroad, consider subscribing. Before you get in the car, you should walk around the car and do these. Bend down and look under the back of the car. Act as if it's a busy street before going to the front of the car. Bend down and look under the front of the car. Before walking out toward the driver's side, look both ways as if you are parked on a very busy street. It may feel awkward to do this as if you are checking if there are kids under the car playing or some animals, but just do it. Some people didn't bend enough to check and didn't get the driver's license. Before starting the engine, sit on the driver's seat and adjust your seat. Even when you don't need to, just adjust it. Put on your seat belts perfectly. Make sure it's not twisted. Adjust your rear view mirror and double check the side mirrors. This is only applicable to some prefectures, but lock your door. Before you pull out, when you are ready and the proctor has told you to start, touch the emergency brake. The emergency brake when I took the test was here. And I have to press it and then pull it. So every driving center is different. With this car, the emergency brake is there. Check the brakes by stepping on it thrice. Note that the police officer also has his brakes and he knows that you are stepping on them on your end. Then, start the car with the brake pressed in. Release the emergency brake. Check the rearview mirror and say, "Okay," or "Yosh." During my test, I keep saying "Yosh" to let the police officer know that I am checking. Before you start driving, do the full head spin, where you look 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yes, 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 yes. When driving in Japan, remember to stay on the left side. Stay about 50 centimeters from the left edge unless you're turning left, and be about 70 centimeters from the right edge. Don't drive in the middle of the lane and don't cross solid yellow lines. When you see a diamond on the road, it means a pedestrian lane is coming. There will be 2 diamonds. Slow down a bit when you see the first one, and slow down more when you see the second one. Keep moving slowly without stopping, so the officer sees you are being careful for pedestrians. When you turn left, you check if there's another car using this behind. So you'll say "Yosh" and then signal "Yosh," and then look at this mirror, "Yosh," and then look at your mirror, "Yosh," and then look at the back of the instructor, "Yosh," and then that's when you turn left. "Yosh, yosh, yosh, yosh." That's the same when you are turning right. "Yosh." Signal. Look to your left. "Yosh, yosh," and then "Yosh" at the back. "Yosh, If something blocks your way like a parked car or cones, follow these steps. Use your right turn signal. Check your side mirror and over your right shoulder. Move into the right lane to go around the obstacle. Keep your left turn signal on. Check your passenger side mirror and over your left shoulder. Go back to the left lane. Stop with your bumper well behind the line at a red light and do not rev in anticipation of green. If there is a car in front of you, make sure that you can see its rear tires when you stop. Look both ways before proceeding, despite that it is green and your right of way. This is the tomare sign. When you see this, please stop before the line. Then, count to 3 on your mind. Before crossing, make sure you cautiously look both ways. You don't have to come to a full stop at a crosswalk, but slow down enough, pumping the brakes a couple of times so that you could stop if a person walked out onto the crosswalk. On the course, the teacher might ask you to go fast on straight parts, like 35 to 50 kilometers per hour, but slow down quickly when you hit that speed. They want to see if you can control the car at high speeds without going too fast or too slow. Go very slowly around curves, about 15 to 20 kilometers per hour. Tap your brakes several times before you enter a curve, but don't tap them while you are in the curve. Try not to press the gas while you are in the curve unless you really need to. The crank is a very narrow part of the road. It's like a square S or 5 shape with 2 sharp right angle turns. You need to drive it through without hitting the curb or poles. You can reverse up to 3 times and touch the curb, but don't drive over it. Try not to let your back tire touch the curb. Go very, very slowly. Stay as far right as you can and turn left at the last moment. Move left and try to stay there before turning right. Trust your instincts. Feel where the edges of your car are and be ready to hit a curb. If you have to reverse, go straight back. If you need to reverse, make sure to look behind you first. The crank needs a lot of focus, and it's easy to forget simple things like checking behind you. When you exit the S-curve or crank, be extra careful making a left turn. Love your mirrors. Always check your mirrors, especially before turning or changing lanes. Look in your rear view mirror before you brake. Look both ways. Look left and right at every intersection you cross, even if the traffic light is green. If you are coming from a small side street, check both ways before entering the main street. No swerving. Make smooth turns. Don't suddenly change direction left before turning right or vice versa. Make wide right turns. When turning right, make the turn wide, especially if you are turning onto a street with 2 lanes. Sometimes you might need to drive forward a bit before turning. At the end, the proctor will usually say the number of the spot he wants you to pull up at. It should be the same place or very close to the place you started. Pull forward until your front bumper is exactly in line with the striped pole. You can fail for pulling up too far or not far enough. Also, be careful not to hit the curb. Put on the emergency brake and put the car into park. Turn off the car. Leaving the key in the ignition. Wait for the proctor to give you further instructions. Passing or failing your driving test can vary depending on where you take it. Some testers will let you finish even if you mess up, while others might stop you right away and send you back to the beginning. You might get feedback right after or have to wait until your name or number is being called. You usually need to drive really well to pass, but small mistakes might be okay sometimes. After everyone finishes, they will call you to get your stuff back and schedule your next test. But if you pass, they will start working on your license, which could take a bit of time. Here are some things that usually make you fail right away. Hitting, sliding against, or going over a curb. Not stopping for the full 3 seconds at stop signs or blinking red lights. Forgetting to check your blind spots. Forgetting to signal or doing it too late. Going too fast around turns without slowing down first. Speeding through construction areas or places where you can't see really well. Crossing over lines or triangles when turning. Taking left turns too wide. Not lining up correctly at the end. Not staying on the left side. Too slow on straight parts. Forgetting to put on your seatbelt or driving in the wrong lane. If you mess up, you can usually keep going unless they stop you. Surprisingly, missing a turn doesn't always mean you fail, as long as you keep driving correctly and make up for it later. There's a lot to remember, but I hope that you all pass the driving test. Having a license makes it easy to rent a car in Japan. Plus, some companies need drivers too. Getting a Japanese driver's license is a big deal and a great achievement. Good luck, everyone. See you next time. Mata ne!